Alright, so I'm making my way across the Pixar Palace parking structure. I actually parked over in Mickey and Friends. But I wanted to start the video today kind of discussing a little bit about Disneyland Forward, because I feel a lot of the perceptions on what's actually happening right now with Disneyland Forward are kind of incorrect. And I just wanted to share what's actually happening with Disneyland Forward, and if it gets approved, what does that actually mean? Because I feel like people think the concept art that we saw is like exactly that what we're getting, and it's just a little bit different. So I figured a really good point of view is up here at the parking structure, because we can see a lot of the land that's going to be included in the project from up above. So let's head over there. Alright, so we're on top of the Pixar Palace parking structure, and forgive me guys for any loud wind noises that are coming through, but it is a little windy up here. But I just wanted to show you guys, of course, as we know, if you were following the Disneyland Forward announcement at all, we saw all of this land right here, all around the Disneyland Hotel, be part of what was known as Disneyland Forward, a project that Disneyland was essentially proposing to the city to allow them to be able to expand on their land moving forward with theme park use. Now, people are confusing Disneyland Forward as being a whole project that's going to happen all at once, a brand new expansion that's literally going to be all together. But it's really not what it is at all. Disneyland Forward is just a proposal to the city of Anaheim to allow the land that they already own to be rezoned for theme park usage. Now, right here we have the former Downtown Disney parking lot for guest parking. We have the former Lilo and Stitch parking lots over here, half of which is being utilized as a laydown zone for the DVC construction project over at the Disneyland Hotel back there. And then, of course, we have the space, you know, around the former areas of like the ESPN zone and things like that. So all this space was utilized in that concept art as new lands and attractions for Disneyland Park. And as you can see just right over here, that over there is going to be Splash Mountain and New Orleans Square and Critter Country in that area. So all they would have to do is simply cross over, and we'd have additional land and usage space over here for Disneyland Park, and then again on the other side of the Paradise Pier Hotel for Disney California Adventure Park. Now, this is just a rezoning of the land. Disneyland is seeking approval from the city of Anaheim to allow them to rezone the land that they have to be used for theme parks, because currently as it stands, all this land that they own, they cannot expand their theme parks onto this land at all. They're only able to utilize this land for parking, shopping, and hotel use on all this space, but Disneyland is seeking approval to be able to utilize this space for theme park expansion. Now, where this becomes an issue and why the city of Anaheim would need to be involved, of course, is the surrounding infrastructure, aka the roads, wouldn't really accommodate something like this and the additional traffic it would bring. Not to mention, literally on just the other side of these parking lots is a row of homes only separated by a 2-lane road. And that is a really big ask of the neighbors that were already there, that were not next to a theme park prior, to all of a sudden be right next to a theme park, right up against it, like something would be off of Catella or Harbor Boulevard. And not to mention the noise that would come from that, but also the way that it looks from behind. As we know, some of the attractions from the backside don't always look the best when they're in these Disney theme parks, when you're seeing kind of behind the scenes. But part of the proposal that Disney turned in to the city of Anaheim was also getting rid of the Disneyland Drive Street that travels all the way down from Ball Road to Catella Avenue. And that would be an interesting thing altogether, because all of the hotels are accessed via that road. So we'd really have to see a giant reworking of the resort if they decided to get rid of that Disneyland Drive Street. And I would imagine too, we'd probably see the removal of Magic Way as well. But the biggest thing I wanted to move forward with and kind of explain to you guys is, if Disneyland is announced the next couple of months that has been approved for Disneyland Forward, it doesn't mean that we're going to see an expansion of all that space all together at once. It just means that Disneyland has now been given the approval of a rezoning of all the land that they own to be utilized for future theme park expansion. And this expansion could take place over a period of like 30 plus years. So it's really just giving Disneyland the go-ahead to be able to grow in the future and not necessarily build it all at once. Because currently, as it stands right now, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, they cannot expand unless they deconstruct, demolition, and remove things that already exist. So this future expansion space would allow them to continue beyond the berm, as they would say, at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure to more additional space. So I just wanted to clear that confusion, because I feel like a lot of people thought Disneyland Forward was that whole project they were seeing, and really it was just an example to the city and to the community to show Disneyland kind of what it looks like with all the everything built out on the artwork there. So, but that was just kind of what I share with you guys over here on top of the Pixar Palace parking structure, showing you a bird's eye view of it all. Of course, we've seen the Simba parking lot. It looks very similar to the space that's here, but that is currently being utilized by guests. Now, if that were to be removed and used for Disney California Adventure expansion, they'd have to come up with some new place to park guests for downtown Disney, and that would be a whole other thing altogether. So I would imagine if Disneyland Forward was approved first, I would say we first start seeing some expansion over at the Toy Story parking lot with that maybe new shopping center, or potentially on this side of the Disneyland Hotel with some Disneyland Park expansion. But what do you guys think? Let me know below. What are you most excited to see expand? Are you excited to see California Adventure expand beyond the Pixar Pier? Or are you excited to see Disneyland expand beyond the Splash Mountain area over here? And I know a lot of you might say, hey, well, they just built all this stuff over here, like this walkway and the parking bridge. So if it gets expanded over here, they would just tear all this stuff out, even though they just built it. And that's not necessarily true, because again, this is just an expansion plan for Disneyland as a possibility of moving forward for the next 30 plus years. So it doesn't necessarily mean that an expansion, once approved, would be built here right away. It just means that Disneyland now has the ability to, which gives them a lot of freedom in how they plan their expansions moving forward. So we finally made it over to Disneyland Park, and we are headed inside. We're not going to Disney California Adventure Park today, because tomorrow I'm actually coming back to do one of the mixology classes for the Food and Wine Festival on Easter Sunday, actually. So I'll be here tomorrow to cover Disney California Adventure. I'm not sure if I'm going to split up the videos or just do one giant long one. I'll have to decide. But for today, we're just doing Disneyland. I just wanted to mention over here in Tomorrowland that Space Mountain will actually be closing on April 27th. It'll be closed for an entire day on April 28th, and will reopen as Hyperspace Mountain on April 29th. And it will be open during the Star Wars Nights events, so it's cool to be seeing Hyperspace Mountain come back. What do you guys think, though? Do you like Hyperspace Mountain? Do you like regular Space Mountain? Are you excited to see it, or are you wishing they would only do it during the nighttime events? Let us know. So prior to Disneyland switching to Lightning Lane from FastPass, they hadn't switched any of the signage for a really long time. And this actually was the distribution point for It's a Small World FastPass and Matterhorn FastPass. You can still see the ghost of the machines on the floor here. But literally, Lightning Lane debuted, and they still hadn't changed the signage over here from the Matterhorn FastPass area. And now it says Matterhorn Rest Area. And they actually have an information booth over here for guest relations, and it's kind of just a shady spot, so it's kind of funny. They just kept the same signage, but just changed the bottom to say Rest Area instead of FastPass Area.
Not an option for any of us, understood? Affirmative. Then, well, then don't disappoint me.
Affirmative. Go on. Move aside now.
So they were actually doing the mini show over here with Kylo Ren, where he interacts with the commander and force chokes. It was a fun little show that was happening here when the land first opened for quite a while. But during the pandemic and after the reopening, of course, we hadn't really seen it. At least I hadn't. But today was the first day I'd seen it, and I wonder if it's because we're getting close to that April 18th time frame of Disneyland allowing characters to get closer to guests. The stormtroopers were walking through the audience after they were done, so it could be that it's because we are closer to that time frame. So I guess we'll have to keep an eye on some additional things being added to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, as far as like the way Chewbacca greets guests. Maybe we see Rey kind of stalking the corners again with Vi Moradi. So it'll be kind of cool to see the land come alive the way it used to be back in 2019. So a quick update here in New Orleans Square. They're actually raised up all the Fantasmic lighting structures around in at least the two left sides, and they're all bare. They have no equipment on them, no lighting rigs, no projectors. So I don't know if all that's getting replaced as well too. It did seem like World of Color got brand new projectors from what we could see, and maybe Fantasmic's getting that same treatment. You can see here, tops of the doors, they are open, but there's no pole extended on that one. So maybe they are getting all new lighting and projectors for the show to carry it on into the future. It has been a while since they've kind of replaced some of that infrastructure, and maybe it was just time. So it could be the reason as to why Fantasmic was delayed to May 28th. But either way, we're excited to see it come back and glad we have a date. And are you guys going to be trying for those Fantasmic dining packages? Because I tried for the Electrical Parade ones and they were gone in like a second. So I'm sure the Fantasmic ones will be even harder. And lastly, I wanted to end my video over there, straight across the way at the Paradise Pier Hotel. I know the last video we did an update at Disneyland Hotel and Disney's Grand Californian Hotel, but we talked about Paradise Pier Hotel but didn't show you. So I wanted to show you guys what the current state of that hotel is like, because a lot of people don't know that dining is not available and other amenities that are not available when staying there. So we're headed there now. So currently we're on the only walkway to and from, well actually just to the parks from Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. You can walk from Grand Californian if you're cutting through Disney California Adventure over to Paradise Pier Hotel, but last we checked when we were staying there, they did not allow guests to walk through the main entrance of the Grand from the street here because there was a controlled gate that was being monitored by inserting your Grand Californian room key. So I'm not sure if that's still into effect. I know that there is no pool, which we'll be seeing a little bit over at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel, so I'm not sure if they disabled the key access because they know that their guests are going to be coming over to utilize the pools. We'll have to wait and maybe ask someone in the lobby for clarity. All right, so we are out on the street here at Disneyland Drive. So when Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel first opened alongside Disney California Adventure Park, a lot of you may or may not remember, but Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel actually had its own separate entrance for California Adventure Park, and it was right here just adjacent to the main entrance of Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. Now, rumor has it, because of the renovation and redo over here at Paradise Pier Hotel, you can see all the construction going on over here. Rumor has it is that entrance is coming back for these guests because it's currently a huge problem for these guests. They weren't allowed to cross the street over at the Grand Californian Hotel, at least in the beginning. I don't know if those rules have changed. And then they currently have to mix in with all the Disneyland Hotel guests and Downtown Disney guests entering through security. So it's kind of like a pain point for this park or for this hotel. And if they had their own entrance again, that would let them raise prices over here at this hotel. So it is currently the budget or cheaper option here at the Design Resort. It's not that cheap, but it is the cheapest one. And having its own park entrance, again, being exclusive, would not only be convenient, but allow them to raise the rates. All right, so it's a little bit of an abandoned story over here at the lobby of Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. So over here in the Surfside Lounge, it's actually not open. Has never reopened since the hotel reopened. They do have table available for you guys to sit down and maybe eat some food that you got at Downtown Disney. There's also a small little market, which we'll check out in just a few, on the other side of the lobby, that you can get some kind of to-go food options and maybe bring them over here to eat as well. But they aren't currently offering any breakfast here. They're not offering the bar drinks that they normally offer. This has never reopened, like I mentioned. They don't have the cartoon or TV running for kids. And then the PCH Grill restaurant over here, which is their table service character dining restaurant, has also never reopened since the parks reopened. That's going to be right over here. PCH Grill does remain closed alongside Surfside Grill. But let's go ahead and head around the other corner of the lobby and check out the little market they have set up for some food items for the guests that are staying here. Alright guys, so I did happen to walk out the back side of the lobby. Now normally the guests would walk along this corridor here over to downtown Disney and the theme parks, but this access is closed due to the heavy construction going on up above at the pool. And again, that's on the 3rd level on a kind of an outer deck here of the hotel, but you can still access the parking structure, which is why we're walking out here right now. But next up inside, let me show you the market. Alright, so we are in the market, which is actually the former arcade here at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. And then for a while it played host to some kind of other things, like it was the check-in spot if you had, you know, access to Galaxy's Edge when that was new. It had been a lot of things, but this is their market now. This is the only option for food here at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. They've got some to-go healthy items like sandwiches and vegetables. They have salads. They even have a whole fridge of just kind of vegan stuff over here and dairy-free items. They've got chips, but it's actually not even staffed. They just have you know, these kiosks here where you bring your food over to it, you scan it, and you check out. So it's all on honor system. Of course, there's cameras in here covering all that stuff too. They've got some hot coffee machines for coffee in the morning. But again, there's not even a special name for it or anything. It just says, welcome to the market. Browse and choose your items. Visit a payment kiosk. Scan with and pay with credit card, debit card, and mobile payment, and enjoy. And they do have microwaves here as well for those people that are picking up items that they do want to have heated up. But they do have, like I mentioned, some wraps and salads, some to-go items, and then of course the microwaves over here, drinks. Do they have alcohol? Let's see. Oh, I guess they couldn't have alcohol, right? Because you have to do self-checkout, so that was a dumb question. But again, this is called the Market, and it's over here just off the lobby at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel, since they don't have dining options currently at this time at all. So if you wanted to get some actual dining options, you're going to need to go to downtown Disney or to Disney's Grand Californian Hotel. And I know we did show the other TV earlier, but they do have this small kids TV with the sandcastle going for kids that are just off the lobby here. So some fun activities in here. And that's just about it. There's one more thing over here that's kind of a fun little showpiece. They have some history from Disney's California Adventure. They have one of the dolphins from King Triton's Carousel. So before Jesse's Critter Carousel, they actually had King Triton's Carousel, and these are one of the dolphins from that carousel. But yeah, like I mentioned, guys, there just isn't a lot of options here at the Paradise Pier Hotel for dining and amenities. I mean, you don't have a pool right now. There's no place to sit down and eat. So I just would really strongly suggest that you consider your different options when coming to visit the Design Resort. And maybe wait on Paradise Pier Hotel until they finish some of the renovations. I don't want to address any of the rumors about Paradise Pier Hotel turning into like a Pixar or Toy Story hotel, because Disney hasn't really confirmed any of that, and I don't know how likely any of that is, but we'll keep an eye on this construction and see what the pool ends up looking like. All right, so I'm back over here on the corner of Grand Californian, Paradise Pier Hotel Way, and Disneyland Drive, because I did happen to check with the front desk, and currently the guests that are staying at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel only have access to the Disneyland hotel pool during their stay while their pool is out of commission. And then the other question I wanted to ask is about access to the Grand Californian Hotel. Since there is a security guard staked or parked there checking room keys, they are currently granting access to Paradise Pier Hotel guests to walk in off the street into the Grand Californian Hotel. Only guests with keys at the Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel and the Disney's Grand Californian Hotel can access this off the street. You cannot walk in otherwise as any other guests off the street. So that is good to know. When they first kind of set up a gate in front of Disney's Grand Californian Hotel, they were not allowing any of the other hotel guests to walk in off the street, and only the Grand Californian guests' keys were coded to walk in that direction. They were really trying to limit a lot of the outside traffic coming in from off the street and into the lobby, because it is the safety of the guests that are staying at that hotel, and it does absolutely make sense. But that is good to know currently, since there is a lot of inconvenience right now with staying at the Paradise Pier Hotel. It's nice to know that they are offering that access there, as well as you can head on over to the Disneyland Hotel to use their pool. Now, I wanted to take a quick moment to stop here and show you guys this real quick as far as the construction goes. Now, normally Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel guests would walk in and out of this corridor here to the lobby and up to their rooms. This is going to be their main thoroughfare to the parks and downtown Disney, right this way in that direction. But currently, as it stands, this whole area is closed because of the construction on the pool. And for those of you that didn't know, fun fact about the Paradise Pier Hotel, its pool is actually up on the 3rd floor, and you can see it kind of right up there. But the pool is completely being redone right now. There's a lot of heavy work going on, and so they've got some equipment parked ahead, so they don't want guests walking in and out around this area. Now, they do have access to the parking structure still, but they will not have ground access outside these areas as the construction continues on the pool. So this is another blocked access for guests staying at this hotel. So those guests would have to walk either to the main entrance of the hotel off the street side, or they would have to walk across the street to Disney's Grand Californian Hotel main lobby and go to the parks that way. So you'd walk out the front, make a left, and head this direction, the long way, or you could go through the Grand Californian. I'd recommend going through the Grand because it's a lot quicker either way. The only thing about the Grand Californian is that they have a very small security checkpoint, and mixing Paradise Pier Hotel guests as well as the Grand Californian Hotel guests in the morning can really impact that security checkpoint, and your lines can be pretty long at those busy peak times. Meanwhile, heading this direction, where they have a lot more security checkpoints here for the downtown Disney and parking structure areas, it's a little bit less of a wait, most likely, and a quicker access in. But again, you're cutting off so much time going in through the Grand Californian Hotel as far as walking distance. So it's a bunch of pros and cons being weighed in. But right now, you guys, I would say, again, maybe think about holding off staying at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. It is a great option. It has some amazing views of Disney California Adventure Park, but right now I just feel like the price to stay there each night is so high, and the benefits don't really kind of justify that, in my opinion. You're paying more than the prices you were prior to the pandemic, but everything is not available at the hotel. There's no restaurants, there's no bar. I don't know if there's a room service. They have that little market, I guess is technically a food option. They don't have a pool right now. It just doesn't seem like a full Disney experience to be paying like over $500-600 a night to stay there. And I would just consider something like the Disneyland Hotel and one of the views I mentioned that could avoid some of the construction, or paying that extra if you could to stay at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. But there's so many other great options too in our good neighbor hotels around the resort. And I'm thinking about doing maybe some additional videos on some good neighbor hotels, because a lot of people just don't know what's available and what's good around the Design Resort, especially if they're traveling here for the first time. So those may be coming in the future too, as well as podcasts about them. All right, so we transitioned over to Disney California Adventure Park. I decided to keep it all in one video, but this is the next day. This is Easter Sunday, and we're over here at Disney California Adventure. The crowds are large today here for the holiday weekend. And I was just walking back here because Grizzly River Run recently reopened, and it's been a while since I've been back over here. So I always like walking this route back here behind Grizzly River Run, because it's like almost no one ever here. So it's almost like you're in the park by yourself. But then you realize that the lines are still full and it's not an uncrowded day. But you kind of get a vibe of that it's uncrowded when you walk back here. Have you guys been back on Grizzly River Run yet since it reopened? It's only like 10 o'clock right now, and Grizzly River Run already has a really long line. So, I mean, but fair enough. It is hot today. It's like going to be 80. So perfect day for Grizzly River Run. All right, so we are back over here at the Sonoma Terrace, and you can see they've already set up for the event, but we're here a little bit early to queue up in line. The event is also sold out. All right, so we are seated and ready here for our mixology class, and this particular class features the Magic Key Terrace. Now, every one of these classes featured a special Disney bar, and today's class features the Magic Key Terrace here at the Wine Country Trattoria, but we did get a special preview from the cast member that said that the drink that we're making today is not a drink that's on a menu, and that it's currently a drink that's coming to their all-new menu, and it's going to be a tiki-themed drink. So I lucked out on this one. Tiki drinks are my favorite, and I was sad I couldn't get the Trader Sam's class. So this Magic Key class came through with a tiki drink. We got some Myers Dark Rum, some Bacardi, some other drink here, I'm not quite sure. But they give you everything you need to make a drink. You got a little jigger here, you have a mixer, you have your shaker, you got some mint leaves and some pineapple leaves, all the syrups that you need. So this is just way above and beyond what I thought. And again, this ticket was only $25 to do this mixology class. And you get to create the drink and enjoy it. And they actually got the staff here from the Magic Key Terrace going to explain us how to make this new drink. And the cast member said that this new drink doesn't even have a name yet. It's just something that they created for the Magic Key Terrace. And it's going to be on their all-new menu coming soon.
Please welcome your host.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 2022 Disney California Adventure Park Food and Wine Festival. Yes. All right, my name is Sade, and it is my absolute pleasure to host you today at Sonoma Terrace. All right, so we're so happy to have you all with us for this mixology, education, and tasting seminar. Are you excited? Woo! Right.
All of Disney as a whole, instead of just being California Adventure. So now, since we're expanding all of it, we're going to introduce you guys to the first drink that we're rolling out, which is a sneak peek. It is not yet out yet, so you guys are some of the first people to go ahead and try this drink with us.
It's actually based on the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse. The treehouse is located, or was located in Adventureland, and so it was based off of an 1812 novel originally. Disney did do 2 adaptations. It was a 1940s movie and then another 1960s movie, and this treehouse is based off of the 1960s version of the movie.
So we're starting with 1.5 ounces of orgeat.
You're wasting the juices, which is way cheaper than the alcohol.
And so what orgeat is it's basically, like you said, an almond-based syrup. This one does have sunflower lectin, and it is made with sugar and sea salt as well.
Island. And
Next up is 1 ounces of coconut milk.
Or things like that. So he decides to make coconut bombs, and I've ahead and you go into coconut milk today.
Next up is 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, freshly squeezed.
You're going to put it onto our next step. What makes the drink what it is?
We're going to add in our liquor. So we're going to start off by...
Next up is 1 ounce of Bacardi rum.
Alrighty.
Next up is 1/2 ounce of passion fruit liqueur.
Family Robinson, so, thank your lucky stars for that.
Start shaking.
Next we add the
ask
ice.
Stand up with us to shake your drinks.
Get that feel of a real bartender.
And we're gonna shake the drink.
And whenever you are ready.
You look like a Hawaiian bartender with your shirt on.
Here's what the end result looks like. We're looking a little creamy thanks to that coconut milk.
And then it actually does have an oaky finish to it. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna grab it and we're just gonna pour it over the top. You wanna kind of give it a swirl, that way it distributes itself evenly around the cup, and it's just gonna be a float.
And lastly, we're gonna top it with Myers Dark Rum, which is the best rum, in my
So the
opinion.
next step is
As a little
we're gonna
floater.
take our bitters. Not everyone has them on their tables. We're gonna pass them around because sharing is caring, right, everybody? So I will be around as well to help you guys out if...
Lastly, we're gonna top it with a little bitters. That's all for me. I'm not a big bitters person.
Alrighty,
All right, so
guys.
next we're gonna garnish
And
it
that
with
is
some
the end of our
plants,
drink. You guys
since
are
it is
now
the
just
Swiss
doing
Family
yourself a
Treehouse
hand.
drink.
Give yourself a hand.
And there we go.
Alrighty.
It wasn't really really cute heart.
So this is the drink that they've created about the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse.
They were picturing the kids
And it's got the tiki vibes. Let's go ahead and give it a shot.
want to go up these 68 stairs.
All right, guys, we just finished the class. As you can see, I really enjoyed my drink. This was a cream of coconut based drink with 2 different rums in it and a passion fruit liqueur. And it was based off of the Swiss Family Treehouse. They couldn't share with us a name yet. I called it the Swiss Polka because that was the name of the soundtrack from the old Disneyland soundtrack back in the day. But it was really, really good. As you can see, I drank most of it already. And again, this class was only $25. Unfortunately, all the classes have sold out this particular Food and Wine Festival, and we're almost done here. April 26th is the last day of the Food and Wine Festival. But I would say next year's Food and Wine Festival, if they do these classes again, which I hope they do, book them because they book up fast. Ours sold out in like a day or two. So this was super, super fun, and only $25. You can't beat it for a great experience here at Disneyland Resort. So 10 out of 10, I enjoyed this so much, and I love Tiki Drink, so I'm gonna add this one to my list of new drinks at Disneyland to try. And I actually came back over to Disneyland to end this video because I wanted to show you guys, we got characters still meeting guests socially distanced up on the train station behind a little barrier there. So the big thing about this is tomorrow, April 18th, when I'm filming this video, I'm filming it on Easter Sunday. Tomorrow, characters are actually going to be meeting and greeting guests again one-on-one. So these socially distanced meet and greets, I'm not sure if they're going to go away or if they're just going to do the traditional meet and greets in addition to those. I will say it's kind of cool to see characters like this because you can see a lot more than you normally would if you had to wait in long lines to meet them. But I know a lot of people with young kids are really wanting to have characters up close with their kids again, so that for those family photos, things like that. So those are supposed to start tomorrow. So this may be the last time we see characters up on the train station like that, unless they're wishing everyone a good night or something, you know, at the end of the day like they usually do. But I just wanted to try to find one of those before I left today. But yeah, and that starts again tomorrow on Monday 18th. So if you guys are going after the 18th, you might see traditional character meet and greets like they used to be before. However, we did get some information that the princess meet and greets inside the fairy tale hall would be delayed. So they're not going to be inside the fairy tale hall just yet, or the royal hall, whatever it's called. It's going to be outside the way it has been traditionally, at least for the time being. They're still working on getting that ready. But thanks again, guys, for watching. If you did like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And we'll see you for the next video. Bye, guys.